Hey everybody out there, this is Modern Day Duelist, aka Seto Kaiba, and today for you guys, thank you to my friend Mike who is loaning me his playmat. I decided to use it in a video before I gave it back to him. But today for you guys, we are going to be doing a deck profile of a deck that I have been wanting to profile for a long time, and that is Nekroz. Now, originally when Nekroz first came out, I wanted to build a deck. I had put money aside for it. I think I put like $300 aside initially when Nekroz first came out to build the deck. But as you guys remember, Brio was short printed, and yeah, definitely more than $300 back in the day. But now that everything's been reprinted, I wanted to redo and build the deck. Now that everything's much more cheaper, it's a more budget-friendly deck, etc., etc. And it's a deck that I've played with. I've used my friends' other versions throughout the years, and I've played with it online. And I've always loved the deck overall. But it's such a fun deck to play nowadays, and it's just so good, actually. It's still got a big punch to it, but it does take a lot of strategy and proper usage of cards to play with the deck properly, to get your pluses. So, without further ado, let us get into the deck profile. So first off, we run our 3 Brionic of Nekroz. You guys know what this does. This is your searcher for the deck, etc., etc. Basic stuff of that nature. I'm not going to go into deep into the cards and what they do because this is a meta deck. It's been around for a while. You guys should understand how this deck functions. But 3 Brio. And thank you to my friend who picked these cards up Europrint style. That's why they're a little bit darker. Next we have 3 Valkyries. Now this is something I was debating about heavily. I've seen people recently, and this has been a thing for a while now, of just running 2 Valkyries and then recycling them. Me personally, I'm just liking 3 Valk. You could run 2. I'm debating it. If I was to cut some things out of the deck, some cards I would possibly use in the deck would be things like Cyber Angel Ben 10. That's something I've been thinking about running in the deck, but I just have not done that yet. But for right now, I'm running 3 Valk. I've been running it for about a month now. Still tweaking some other cards out and testing them here and there, but 3 Valkyries is what I like to go with. If you like to go with 2 Valkyries, that's perfectly fine. Next we have Double Colossus. So Colossus, you know what Colossus does, pretty straightforward with it. It's a good card, I like it overall, so Double Colossus. Next we run 2 Trishula. Now I've actually ran into a friend recently, he's just running 1 Trishula. But personally I like the double Trish, just really useful. Remember, it's not like OG Trishula where you can do it no matter what. They have to have the targets on the field, in hand, etc., etc. Just a reminder about that to you guys out there who have not played against Nekroz before, or it's been a long time and you just forget that. But yeah, double Trish. The 1 Unicorn. Konami, can you give this back to 2? Like, so I can make Unicorn lockdown? Please? Please? No? Okay. Unicorn's broken. It's such a good card. I would honestly say it's maybe the best Nekroz card in the deck because you can just lock your opponent out of their extra deck. So, 1 Unicorn. I would run more if you could. Now these are just ones we're testing out currently in the deck, and I like them. We have our 1 Gungnir, my ulti one, my first dead one. And then we're also running 1 Nekroz Decisive Armor. Now, I'm going to say this, the Gungnir works very well. I've seen a multitude of different players use different ratios of this. I've seen people run no Gungnir and 1 Decisive Armor, 1 Gungnir, no Decisive Armor, and 1 in 1. I've seen a multitude of different people run a multitude of different things. Me, personally, from playtesting, I'm really liking the Decisive Armor as a 1-up in the deck. You don't have to run it, but I like running it, and it's been working for me. And definitely the 1 Gungnir has been really, really nice to have. So these are the ratios I like as we talk about the last of the Nekroz Ritual monsters. So, yep. Next up, I run 1 Chalice Slime. really good use. You guys know what you do. You run some of the incantations in the deck. The incantations really brought this deck to life again, and there's a multitude of different ways you can play this Nekroz deck, especially now that the incantations are a thing, but we'll talk about more of that as we get into other things. The one Shuret, it's Shuret. Thank you for bringing this back off the ban list not too long ago, but one Shuret. Next up, 3 Manju. I've seen some people not even run Manju now and just rely upon the freaking incantations to get their searches off. I don't know how to feel about that. Me, still, I like running the 3 Manju. It's staple, it works, it searches out what you need to, etc., etc. It's Manju. If you get multiple Manju on the field, that happens still. You can go into level 4s or use it for link fodder. You have that space in the extra deck. Next, we run 3 Zaborg. Now, I'm running the Zaborg engine. I like the Zaborg engine because it really hurts extra deck based decks. The Vanity's Ruler, if you want to run the Vanity's Ruler engine, you could definitely run that. And I've even seen people combine the Vanity's Ruler with the Zaborg engine. Question mark. I've seen it happen a couple times and it's worked for them, but me personally, I just stick with Zaborg. It's good, it works, I get effects off because I'll be pitching to graveyard, you know, my things like Elder Entity Nist, or Inst, as I always call it, Inst, and also Herald of Arc Light. So you're going to be pitching these things off with Zaborg. So there's different things you could do. You're going to be tributing off your incantations to get this out. It's pretty straightforward there. But yeah, I like the Zaborg engine. You can run the Vanity's Ruler engine if you want to. Personally, I do not run it in the deck because I do not own it, first off. But from playtesting online and in real life, I don't like Pot of Extravagance in the deck. And you may say, well, why is that? Because I have found, personally, that running Pot of Extravagance along with Zaborg the Mega Monarch is somewhat counterintuitive sometimes. Not all the time, mind you, but I am finding myself a lot of time finding that, yes, that draw card is good, it's amazing in the deck, you know, Pot of Extravagance, but it's somewhat counterintuitive of the strategy of Mega Zaborg. If you're running the Vanity's Ruler engine, yeah, it works a little bit better with that, but those are just my things that I have found out from playtesting this deck over the last month. But 3 Zaborg. Thank you, Konami, for reprinting literally almost half this deck. Next, we run 2 Incantation Bookstone, 2 Incantation Pencil Plume, 2 Incantation Talismandra, 2 Incantation Candle. So these are the ratios. I've seen people play around with the ratios of the incantations, but this is the ratio that I like. 2 Pencil Plume, 2 Book, 2 Candle, 2 Talismandra. Simple, straightforward, it works. So that's what I've done, that's what the ratio I run, and it's what's worked for me. So that's the ratio of the incantations. You guys should know what these do if you've played any ritual deck or if you're familiar with this deck at all. Next up, we run 3 Pre-Preparation of Rites. Pretty straightforward. Now that this is back at 3 of, this deck is the reason this card got limited in the first place, but now that it's back at 3, you run 3 and it works well in the deck. So 3 incantation, excuse me, not incantation, 3 Preparation of Rites. Next up, I run 2 Nekroz Mirror, 2 Kaleidoscope, and 2 Nekroz Cycle. So this is the ratio I run. Like I'll say, I've seen people run different ratios of the rituals, but that's what works for me. In addition, I do run this because it does come in handy and it does work, and it's something I'm testing out currently. But in addition, I do run one incantation, how do you pronounce it? Inception, I believe it's called, which has been working well for me. I really like this card, but I'm still testing this card out overall, but I do like it. And lastly, we run 1 Rhoda because it helps search out your Colossus and also your Shuret as well. So that's the main deck, 40 cards in total. You could run Call by the Grave if you want to, but that's what I've been running. It's been working well. Extra deck, Dark Magician, Field Center. Your 3 Herald of Arc Light, pretty straightforward. Your 3 Inst. Yes, Ninst. I can't pronounce it properly, forgive me. Double Toad because you can recycle it, so 2 totally awesome dude. Next we run our targets for our Kaleidoscope, etc. Brionic, Take Me Supersonic. We run Psyframe Omega, Star Eater, Shooting Quasar Dragon. So these are your targets right here for Kaleidoscopes. Now these I run for the extra deck, just in case I have Double Manju or I want to go into things, and we'll talk about this in a second. But I run 1 Nightmare Phoenix, 1 Tornado Dragon, and 1 Exciton Knight. Now, you can run Abyss Dweller if you want to, but your only thing to pump up the Abyss Dweller is really Unicorn. You know what I'm saying here. So, if you want to run, you know, an Abyss Dweller in the deck instead, go right ahead. But I like the Phoenix and Tornado Dragon to get rid of back row stuff. Exciton Knight if you really have to go into it. But these are just there just in case. Personally, I've also used them for cherry targets. So if I'm going to a tournament, maybe I'll put, you know, I don't know, like Beatrice or random stuff like Salamangreat stuff. If I feel like I'm going to run into more Salamangreats, Sky Striker stuff, you know, and then put Winter Cherries in my side deck and side into it. So these 3 slots right here you can use for whatever you want to. I just use them currently because that's what I've been going into more. But if I'm going into a competitive setting like a regionals or something of that nature, or YCS, I think I would, and which I have done before, is I've side decked in some cherries targets if you want to run Winter Cherries. But that's just me. But I hope you guys all enjoy this deck profile. It was pretty short and sweet. I really enjoy this deck thoroughly playing it. It's a fun deck to play, man. Like, I love ritual-based decks, but this deck in particular holds a special place in my heart because I've always just loved it aesthetically, and the fact that it was one of the best ritual decks of all time, if not the best. By far it's the best one. My memory is playing tricks with me because I'm remembering the days of Demise OTK, which I just played with my friend recently. But yes, best ritual deck of all time, and it's just fun playing with rituals because it's not a mechanic that people play a lot of. But love the deck to pieces. Hope you enjoy this deck profile. And one thing I'll say is each person out there plays Nekroz a little bit differently. They have their own take, their own different builds, the little tech cards they run. The Nekroz community is very big. So if you enjoy this video and you just love Nekroz, remember to give this video a thumbs up. If you just enjoy the lore of Nekroz and the story that they have in the dual terminal world, thumbs up. And if you enjoyed the video in general, thumbs up. Remember to, if you like this video and you like the channel, remember to subscribe and bell the channel. And if you would like to support this channel and to support me and helping me make more content and better content for you, definitely go check us out on Patreon. We are doing early releases and once we get more Patreons, we plan to do more things on there as well. But we need your support for that. But till next time, guys, take care, have fun dueling, good luck dueling to all of you, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.
I'm feeling like I'm torn apart, like I might be nothing. You've been leaving all these scars on everything you touch, and you got me like, whoa, oh, oh.